Welcome to part one of the semi-final round of the 2023 Engen Pitch Polish competition with me, Aldrin St-Pierre. Are you ready? I think we can all agree that last week was extremely entertaining with lots of laughs and fun moments. But tonight, things are about to get real as we get into the actual semi-final pitches. Now, getting through to the semi-final round of South Africa's biggest pitching competition is a massive achievement. And it has become something of a tradition for Race Corp CEO Alon Reyes to treat the last four contestants to a special dinner on the eve of the semi-finals. They spend time together in a more relaxed social setting and of course also pick Alon's entrepreneurial brain. Not literally, obviously, because that would just be gross, especially at the dinner table. Now, let's join them for a moment.
So welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to dinner. It's a casual dinner to get to know all of you. Tonight, I think it's just about conversation, about commonality. It's about our journeys as entrepreneurs. But if I can give some advice about the next round, the judges are not first-time judges. We've been through this before. We know the game, and so we are trying to see through the stories and through the veneer that you are portraying. And of course, you're putting your best foot forward, but we're looking for authenticity. And maybe my final point is around the numbers. I think what's going to trip anyone up here is that in the next two rounds, numbers are going to become everything, to know your numbers. What's your GP percentage? What's your net profit percentage? How do you say that? We will have looked at your numbers before. If we're looking at your numbers and you're saying something else, if we're looking at your bank account and you're saying something else, it's going to be a problem. So rather get very au fait with your numbers, work with your guides in terms of your numbers, and polish. All right, gents, thanks for a fantastic evening of conversation. I certainly learned a lot, got inspired once again. And here's to you, to your success, whether you win or you don't win, whether you're in the finals or you're not in the finals. But to your journeys as entrepreneurs, may you be successful and ever learning. Cheers.
Cheers. Well, you may have noticed there that I didn't crack the knot for this exclusive get-together. I really need to work at getting better at this contract negotiating thing. Anyway, on with the episode this evening. Our first semi-finalist to pitch is Tshireletso of a camping retreat in Gauteng. Earlier on, I caught up with him for a pre-pitch chat. Let's take a look.
Tshireletso, you are now very, very close to the ultimate prize, which is 650,000 Rand and then 350,000 Rand with the business program from Race Corp. How do you feel?
I feel incredibly honored. It's been a long journey, very insightful. I've learned a lot about both myself and my business, and I'm ready to take on the next level.
Yeah, it's you versus three other people, yeah? Do you guys sometimes ask each other about so how did your pitch go?
We try not to. In fact, we just laugh about whatever happens that was funny.
Yeah.
The nervousness and what it took for us to be here. So
you don't try to suss each other's business acumen out at all?
We've gotten to a stage now that we're supporting each other actually.
Yeah.
So once we hear somebody has a challenge, we kind of put our heads together. We've come a little bit of a team and have bonded quite a bit.
You're not starting your own conglomerate here. Your business, camping in a different way, and you spoke about some of the challenges that you have, but also trying to make it as big. Do you think that the market is there? Are you still convinced?
I'm very convinced. Not only in my opinion, the numbers speak for itself. We're getting year-on-year growth. There's high demand on fully booked retreats. We fully booked for Q4. So, and we're beating last year's numbers. So I'm still quite convinced that we've got enough.
Yeah, and then there's the possibility of winning all of this money as well. But then also some of the lessons that you've learned and some of the tips that you got from the judges, including your guide.
Absolutely. I mean, the greatest observation by Lon is the ability to scale. You asked us a very important question. If I gave you 20 million now, what would you do? And I realized I'd never thought about a 20 million rand injection. We're always kind of thinking the immediate to the near future, but 20 million rand or something that could accelerate 20 years of scaling is never something that we think of as entrepreneurs now. So that's been the eye-opening things that I've learned quite a bit.
And from your guide?
From the guide, who's incredibly numbers-driven, he puts things into perspective. When I say I want to invest in this, he tells me the financial implication of that. I've appreciated that a lot. I've been able to now see things financially. For example, I was about to increase the price by 8%, but he was able to tell me that it's going to give us 25% return. So I've learned to look at things in a numbers perspective, not just improving efficiencies, but ultimately the bottom line. It's been incredibly impactful in my business, yeah.
Well, Tshireletso, thank you so much for your time and all the best. And let's see whether he will make it past the semi-final round and make it all the way to the finals.
Hi there, Tshireletso.
Hello, hello.
How are you feeling after the kids' feedback?
I'm still feeling quite the same. No change. I'm still ready.
Which is what?
Which is ready to pitch.
You're ready to pitch, whether you got good feedback from the kids or not?
I don't want it to cloud my preparation.
Okay.
My focus is here for now.
Okay, so am I putting you off your game?
You tried.
All right. Tshireletso, are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pitch and polish.
Thank you, judges. My name is Tshireletso, and I'm the current Tourism Entrepreneur of the Year. Tourism contributes 3.2% to the GDP, and domestic tourism has increased by 41%, which has surpassed previous COVID times. 6 years ago, I founded a company called Camping Retreats out of trying to make camping more attractive to my wife. Today, Camping Retreats employs 18 permanent staff members. We're currently recruiting a further 5. We host 4 times more trips than all of our competitors. 95% of our customers said they have never tried camping had it not been for our service. You see, our sweet spot is that we provide 5-star food in the bush, and that has continued to give us a competitive advantage to date. We've created barriers to entry by partnering with big name players in the industry, like South African National Parks, KZN Wildlife, and now Forever Resorts, that has given us an even bigger footprint across the country and internationally of 10 stands additionally. We also have attracted interest and currently in conversations with various companies like Outdoor Warehouse who are looking to work with us, the Blue Bank, and various companies that are looking to do team building and year-end functions. Although this may seem like a couple of opportunities that are in the pipeline, we want to streamline our next move by working on the 650,000. In this way, 45% will be put towards purchasing a second truck, 30% will be put towards establishing a manufacturing and repair center, 15% will be put towards boosting our deluxe offering from deluxe to deluxe plus, and then finally 10% will be put towards upgrading our website and our CRM system. Okay.
I put you off your game a little bit, almost. All right, so let's start here.
Thank you, Tshireletso. You seem to have upped your game. I think with all the practice you've been getting up to this point. Just listening to you, how you're going to spend the money manufacturing, and you also spoke about you want to expand your team. You have a team of 18 and you want an additional 5. What are those people going to be doing? Because, I mean, obviously, hiring more people means you're increasing your cost base.
We're hiring a general manager. I'm not good with managing people. I'm good at systems. So I've identified a lack there. We're hiring an internal accountant and bookkeeper to help us identify how we can best use our money and lower our cost. We're hiring a digital designer, which is a work that I've been doing, updating the website, putting it looking nice on socials. I want to let that go. And then we're hiring a customer service and customer service specialist who will answer the social media queries, the WhatsApps and the emails, which I also partake in at times. So I'm trying to free myself off of these duties of operations.
I see. I actually did see your org structure. I kind of thought those were already existing. And I guess given that those are the roles that you're looking to expand on, when you do the manufacturing, does that mean further headcount for you, or how are you going to do that?
Absolutely. Manufacturing, we're buying a business that is employing 4 people. The head is the head designer, the most experienced person who designs our equipment, and 3 people who do the sewing, the actual sewing of the merchandise. So that would definitely add more to the team.
So meaning another 9, I guess.
That's correct. Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations on being Tourism Entrepreneur of the Year. That's lovely accolades. So just having looked through your financials, you definitely are getting more guests coming through, which is fantastic. But what worries me is that your net profit is decreasing. So where are your costs being sunk at the moment?
2021, we made a couple of big purchases. A truck that we have, the bus, and another bakkie. Those took quite a bit of our money, and also tax has gone up quite a bit. We had quite a big chunk of tax liability that we had in the beginning of the year. So having to recover from that was quite a bit of a challenge. And also we purchased additional deluxe tents. So we spent most of our 2021 increasing the capacity and spending quite a lot on building the business to where it is now. And this is only paying off in 2023, which is why we're looking at another 2.2 million increase in the sales this year.
And if you're making most of your money from your deluxe package, what are you going to put in place to actually increase those sales?
Well, we have identified that what is the same with us in the competition is that everybody's got a standard offer. We're the only ones who've got a deluxe, and the deluxes we've been limiting to the people. Now we want to move towards being an only deluxe company. Right now, I just need to make it clear that we are still in the camping and not in the glamping field. So we're still pretty much roughing it up by choice. So our competitors are tapping into the glamping field. But when we move from a deluxe to a deluxe plus, which is what we're looking to do, buy an additional 1 or 2 items like a blanket and a potilu, then we'll be able to increase the price of a deluxe, which now will allow us to host lesser people at a more, I don't want to say expensive price, at a significantly more price than our standard offering.
All right, I've got a couple of questions here. Seasonality, how does that affect your business?
June, winter time, is part of the seasonality. What we do, we've been going through June since the last 6 years. What we do is we bolster up our offers, we lower the price. We do take a knock, but it's a calculated knock. We lower the price, we put more value on it. We include movie nights, we include bonfires, things that don't cost us a lot of money that we already have in order to make the package look more attractive. We also go to the warmer side of the country, Bela Bela, Mpumalanga. We do our best in order for us to survive June, July.
Okay. All right, enough on that. You spoke about the fact that you're not a good manager. How are you going to grow a big business? We're investing in your business, you know. We want you to grow, and you're going to abdicate managing to somebody else.
I'm fine with not managing the people because I know I've got a good heart and I tend to focus on growing the people. I feel like I don't want people to be stagnant and where they are.
So does that mean that the people walk all over you? Is that another way of saying that?
It means that I know their backgrounds personally, and when they say to me, I need what do you call it, money up front, or when they break something and I have to deduct from them, I feel so bad because I know you've got 2 kids. So I need somebody who's not going to be so lenient with regards to the people. If they need to deduct money, they need to deduct money. It's business as usual.
Okay. You spoke about a 41% increase in tourism. 41% increase on what?
On domestic tourism, the more people are
From
traveling.
what to what? From in a year?
You
didn't qualify the
41,
in 1 year.
41% increase since the lockdown. So the lockdown, 5.5 million. After lockdown, 9.1 million are traveling. So people are back now traveling locally.
Who does your books now, your accounts now?
I don't think you want the name, but we've got a company that does our books. They're not doing the best at the moment. That's why we've identified that we need an internal resource.
Yeah, they're not doing. They're letting you down, and they're possibly making you be knocked out of Engen Pitch and Polish.
Absolutely. Over and above Engen Pitch and Polish, for myself personally in this business, we need somebody who will carefully look at our business and be able to help us better.
Let me ask you about your tents, your deluxe tents. How much do they cost?
Average deluxe tent, between 15 and 16,000 rand.
Okay, so my question to you now, you spoke about, Monique was asking about the net profit. You spoke about the fact that there was vehicles that you bought. That's got nothing to do with your income statement. That's got to do with your balance sheet. That's an asset, and if there's a requisite liability that you owe the bank for that sits on your balance sheet. It's got nothing to do with your profitability. It's got to do with your cash flow, and your balance sheet, but not your profitability. It sounds like you keep buying these tents. They should be going onto your asset register. They're assets.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, I mean, those kinds of mistakes, it sounds like your accountants are you're allocating assets in your income statement, or you don't understand, one of the two, or both, perhaps.
All right, you're quite right. I think definitely we need to improve that with our accountants. Another thing that you probably don't know of is that we regularly correct them on the amount of tax that they say we need to charge. For a few months, they've gotten away with whatever bill they say we should pay, which was incorrectly calculated. So I believe that also contributes towards the money that we've been bleeding in the company because of not being able to manage.
One last tough question. 1.5 tough questions. Your accountant, maybe you battle to get rid of them because you're such a nice guy. You know that they're messing up, yet you still keep them. Okay, just second part of the question. You're going to get this manager. What happens if the manager is not a good manager? Are you going to then keep the bad manager and find another manager to get rid of the bad manager?
Question of the accountants. It's actually been a recent revelation, having prepared for Engen Pitch and Polish, and 1 or 2 backdated issues that we've had before. So we haven't had them long enough for me to be able to say I've been tolerating this for a long time. Question of the general manager. We had a general manager before. We put them on probation. They don't perform. We have the tough conversation. Myself have the tough conversation. So I'm more than capable of enforcing the rules to somebody who I've hired like that.
I don't know if I believe you, but anyway, we'll discuss it. We're going to have the tough conversation right now. Thanks for your pitch. You may leave. All right. Bill, what are your thoughts?
So it would have been nice obviously he talks about how he's going to use his winnings, and he wants to do manufacturing. So looking at how he's projecting his business, if that's the intention of how he's going to grow it, that he actually puts in in his projection how that is going to grow his business. I didn't necessarily hear him talk to that or even just explain that. It's just that when he responded to my question around whether there's 5 people are going to be for manufacturing, why does he need more people? And now it turns out actually there's more than 5 that he needs for his manufacturing, but it also then doesn't come through to sort of bolster, the kind of profitability that he's likely making. So I think for me, even with the discussion that you had with him, the financials are just becoming foggier and foggier. I'm like, okay, so where are we getting here in terms of what we're doing? But I did feel like he has polished his pitch.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he's felt much more comfortable than I've seen him in terms of articulating. It doesn't seem as rehearsed as he has been in the past. Yeah.
Yeah. Although he did read, he lost his place
Yes.
twice. I saw that. Monique, your thoughts?
I echo your thoughts there. It's because his pitch has definitely become more polished, but with that the figures have also become foggier the more he's pitched. And I'm concerned that I don't think that the way he plans to spend the money is the correct way to address it, because your stock is not the issue. So going into the whole manufacturing, repairing, that's not the issue. The issue is getting to more campsites, more people to the campsites. So use what you've got right now and build on that, because that's where your profit is coming from. So I just don't think that the focus is right for where he wants to actually pitch or use the money. But it's also, for me, he needs to get a handle on his finances, because he can rattle off the percentages, but he doesn't understand the core of what is causing the decrease in his net profit.
Just to add, I think just having seen some of his financials, the way his cost is stacking up is concerning. And I guess, like you were talking to him about, how maybe his finance people or accountants are misleading him, because that's really an area that he would have needed to sort of try and drive some of what he unpacks, and maybe to the point that Monique you're making is it about stock? Perhaps not. It's probably just seeing where is he carrying cost that is not necessary for this business.
And is it with people, to your point, Alan?
Yeah. That management thing really concerns me. When you're outsourcing, being the bad person because you know somebody, just as an investor, that would make me
nervous
and very nervous. So there's a lot of personal development that needs to happen there. Okay, let's go to the scoring sheets.
Tshireletso, how do you think it went?
Well, it could have gone as well as it could have. Very interesting questions, but I hope we were answered satisfactorily.
Absolutely. But do you think, though, that Alon was fair?
I think he was fair. I mean, as an investor, you look for a leader who's will be able to make decisions quite confidently, and they wouldn't struggle with. So I think it was fair for him to question that. Yeah.
It is about leadership, though. Do you think that you have that necessary temperament to take those tough decisions?
Absolutely. I'm more than capable. It's not my favorite thing to do, obviously, but when times comes, we have to make the decisions. I'm capable.
Then, of course, that difficult question about the books.
Our yearly turnover versus the profit margins probably surprised them a bit. And that's why they got alarmed by, what could it be if we get so much turnover versus the profit margins. So yeah, I think that's what it boils down to.
Hey, listen, you've made it this far to the semi-final. How do you feel, though, about that pitch?
I'm happy with my pitch. I think, I did my best.
Well, all the best, Tshireletso, and thank you so much for your time. Well done, Tshireletso. And now let's take a moment to remember that our semi-finalists are competing for a first prize with 1 million rand. This is a potentially life and business changing opportunity for any entrepreneur. And it's all thanks to the generosity of our title sponsor, Engen Petroleum, our co-sponsor, Nedbank, and our program organizer, Race Corp. We couldn't do any of this without their support. Now, let's get back to the action. Tonight's second semi-finalist is Mzingisi of M Games from the Western Cape. I managed to corner him behind the scenes for a quick pre-pitch conversation.
Mzi, you've made it to the semi-finals. How do you feel?
I'm proud of myself, man. Feel good.
Yeah.
Yes, man.
What would you say a particular moment that stood out for you of the previous 2 rounds? Whether it's a good or bad moment for you, just in hindsight.
No, it's pitching. Trying by all means to improve the pitching. And what stood out for me, it's finding myself, even when I'm walking, when I'm driving, always thinking, what am I going to say next?
So you're pitching in your car as well?
I'm pitching everywhere.
Who are you pitching to?
Just pitching to
pitching
myself.
to the windscreen.
Yeah, just pitching to myself, so thinking that because I've been doing a lot of reflection on the questions and trying by all means to understand the questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think that you then take that with you into the semi-finals?
Yes.
And how is that going to be able to assist you?
I think taking what I've learned and the pitch in the previous pitches will help in the next pitch.
Yeah.
Semi-finals, yes.
Yeah. And your confidence with the numbers as well?
I've done a lot of work on the numbers, and I understand more, especially with the workshops that were given, that we've attended, and the guide, trying to change the way I know numbers and using simple ways of doing the numbers. So I've got a simple way of doing numbers now. I've learned, let me say that
Yeah, because after all, pool is about the numbers, right? It's about the numbers.
Yeah.
So you think you got that black 8 ball?
Yes, sir.
You got it?
I got it, man.
Okay, let's see. Let's see how it goes. Thank you so much for chatting to us, and let's see how Mzi does in the semi-finals.
Mzingisi, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Ram.
Sure, the kids in the last round took you out, eh? How did that make you feel?
It made me feel bad, man, because I could have simplified everything for the kids.
Okay, have you lost a bit of confidence, or are you okay?
No, I've got a good product, so I'm confident.
Okay, great. Mzingisi, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pitch and polish.
Good day, judges. My name is Mzingisi Tshireletso, is my surname. I'm the director of M Games. What we do is that we manufacture all kinds of pool tables, and we also do the rentals of these pool tables to different types of businesses. We target ship-ins, we target homes as well now. We currently have 50 sites that are active, giving us a turnover of around about data renting, turnover of 30,000 perhaps, plus the sales that are making 80,000. Our unique selling proposition is that we contribute financially to growing township informal businesses on an income sharing scale. Our competition, we are competing against big established businesses that have been in the industry for far too long, but they also happen to be our suppliers and we respect them. But we've started working around our challenges. Our challenges is slates. So we request the funding so that we can be able to buy this red part here, which is a slate. It's only imported. So we've been learning for the past years to how to import our own slate so that we can be able to supply the demand. Recently, we've started marketing the services of the business. We're at the Decorex, where we get to meet a retail company that is big in Cape Town, Tafelberg, that are interested in buying tables from us. And to fulfill that supply, we have to own our own slates. We currently making 40% GP and 7% NP. But if we can get this funding to buy this raw material, we'll be able to grow our business to 83% GP and 62% NP, and the return on investment will be 11%. We'll be breaking even at 7.2 million. This money will help us be able to build.
Sure, you ran out of time there. Sure. Monique, question?
I love the demo that you've put up for us, and like the kids said, I now understand that you sell stones. So thank you for that clarification. Just on my side, it was a little bit difficult going through the pack that you'd submitted because I couldn't see this historical data, that the financials that you're talking about. But I just want to clarify what you've said now. You said with the importing of the slates, you'll move from 7% net profit to 62% net profit.
Yes.
How are you going to do that?
Currently, we've got the constraints. Our business is turning what is making what you call 7%. It's not because we cannot sell. It's because we cannot market our businesses to the retail, to the people that we think they can move our product. So if we get the raw material, we'll get the confidence to market our product. Hence, we've started doing that now. We started introducing the products that don't need slates, but we know the demand. The Decorex showed us that there's still a high demand of slates. I don't know if I'm answering the question.
Okay. Just one of the challenges you've said to us before is that you have a storage issue. So where will you store the additional slates that come through?
We've spoken to we're currently operating on a 150 square meter workshop, and we've spoken, our rent is not high. We are paying 4.5, and we can be able, with the current what you call turnover that we're currently making, we can be able to at least add another 200 square meter. So the storage of the container will also be stored in the what you call in the yard, safe yard that we're operating in. So the storage won't be a problem for M Games.
But you're renting that storage. You're renting at the moment. So you don't own that land.
Come again?
You don't own the land. You're
No,
renting
we
it.
don't own the land. We are renting premises as a workshop, yes. But
Okay,
we've got
and you've
good-
negotiated that you want to extend your storage on that particular land that you're renting, and there's space for that and that kind of stuff, I would imagine, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You threw out a number, 30,000 on rentals. Is that
Yes.
30,000 a month, a year? What is it?
I threw out a number, 50 of the pool tables that we're renting out to township businesses are currently giving us a minimum of 30,000, but sometimes they can give us more. So how do we calculate that? We said 650 times 50. Then it gives us that kind of amount. But currently our turnover per month, it's 90, 80, which is increasing differently. Sometimes just on rental. So
30,000 is cash that flows into your bank account every month for the 50.
on rental.
Yes.
So we've got two revenue models.
Sure. I'm
So,
just asking about
yes.
the rental.
Yes. So the rentals come, what you call 30,000 comes from the rentals.
So just a question, because I did receive your financials or your projections,
Yes.
and I look at that number. In fact, maybe I should ask you, how does that number stack up with what you thought you'd be doing by now?
What we have done on the financials with them is that we believe, we've spoken to Tafelberg, and we are convinced that they're going to buy from us. Our projections now are saying we are currently selling 10 to 15 pool tables currently. But if we can have our own pool tables, it means we can be able to market and sell around about 38 tables a month, or sometimes, because the competitor is currently selling 200 a month. So our projections are starting what you call saying 38 tables a month, 40 tables on another month. So we are saying we will aggressively sell. At the same time, we will grow the number of rentals to 100 in the next 6 months, and also supply the most, what you call, because currently we're only supplying City of Cape Town. We are not supplying other other municipalities within the Western Cape.
with rented pool tables,
So it's a combination.
rented and what they purchase.
Yeah, so on the what you call, we'll be able, because now I'll try to simplify it to you this way. We manufacture slimlines. Slimlines is a 1 year on top that is selling. We are selling 10 to 15 of those. But if we've got slates, we will try to, what you call, we know for sure that the target market for Tafelberg is this 1 year, which is selling for 20,000. So our cost of sale, we took our cost of sale and we made our markup. Then we came up with a selling price, which is slightly smaller than what you call what the competitor is selling their tables at. Then we said on these tables, since we're selling 10 to 15 on this table, we will target to sell at least 10 to 15 of this table. At least if we can sell 3 of these, which are 45,000 each, at least if we can sell 3, we will be very happy with that.
So if you allow me, I'll try one more
Yes,
time. I guess, is your actual performance in line with what you expected in terms of the rentals? And if not, you know, what is getting in the way of that?
I don't.
Because okay.
Can I give it a
Please
shot?
try.
Okay. You're currently doing 30,000 a month, approximately, on rental.
Yes.
Is that what you expected to do by now? Did
not,
you expect to do 30,000 at this stage, or did you expect 40,000 or 20,000? What did you expect to be doing in terms of your projections? Am I getting your question?
Correct, yes.
Yes, but I think we've expected to do on the amount of pool tables that we have. We've expected that kind of amount because the pool tables don't stay in one site forever. So if we feel that this Zanele is not making enough, the pool tables are rotated. But if we had more pool tables, we would say, okay, since Zanele is not making enough, but since Zanele, when she's not making enough, it's better for her to make 20 rand or 30 rand or 100 rand than for the pool table that is here at the workshop to collect dust. So if we had enough stock to rent out, I think we would have increased our, because currently we've reached our capacity. We cannot grow any further because now the 50 pool tables, we've tried growing that. We cannot grow it because now it's paying all the expenses. But with the funding, we will be able to make more pool tables so that we can be able to, make the business run again. I don't know if I'm making sense.
I hear you. Thank you, Mzi.
Right, so it's my turn now. So a good segue here. Your did you say 63% net profit, right?
We said 63%, 62% in net
62.
profit.
62. All right,
Yes.
let me ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
If I buy something, or my cost of sales is, I buy something for 100 Rand
Yes,
and I sell it for 200 Rand.
yes.
What's my GP percentage? What's my gross profit percentage?
It's 100% or 200%, let's say. I
Okay,
believe.
it's 50%.
Is that 50%?
It's 50%.
Okay. I
Okay.
don't have my calculator
All
here
right,
with me.
it's 50%. So
Yes.
what you're saying when you say is 62% net profit,
Yes,
right? Not GP even. I haven't even got to your expenses.
yes,
If you're saying you've got 62% net profit,
yes.
let's forget net profit. Let's just go to
GP,
GP.
yes.
That means you are selling at more than double your
Cost
cost,
of sales.
your cost of sales.
Yes,
And your expenses as a percentage are so low
yes.
that you can hit 62%. So I've got a big question mark around whether if you've worked out your GP and your NP correctly. So I'll just put that out there. I don't know it.
Can I answer that quickly?
Yeah.
We did revise yesterday with the guide, the GP and the net.
To 62.
Not to 62, it went down lower because our expenses.
So why did you pitch at 62?
It's the same time as that we were told that we cannot, because I tried to send the revised to Odette, but Odette said to me, the judges have already got what you
Yes.
submitted.
But
So,
you could have still have pitched
Okay.
Okay, and you could have covered yourself.
Yes, but our expenses, since our expenses now have grown in line with the.
Yeah, I still don't buy that you're anywhere near 62%. You would be one of the best performing businesses in the world.
Try
if
us.
you, okay. Right. The second thing, if you bring in those slates, is there insurance on those slates? If those slates, would you insure them?
They already insured.
In your warehouse? So they come off the ship, they go to your 200 square meter storage,
Yes.
and they would be insured in your storage.
The business pool tables are currently insured. With
The pool tables
insurance.
are. I'm talking about the slates.
So anything, I think, anything in the business will be able to be insured.
Yeah, where I'm going at with this is that you speak about your costs, and my real question is, do you understand the real cost? Because have you added in transport? Have you added in insurance? Have you added in the cost of rental? How long will those slates be in your warehouse before they are sold? So let's say, for example, they're there for a year, and that costs you $5,000 a month. That's another 60 grand a year. That is your cost to keep those slates. You get what I'm saying? So you have to add 60,000 back onto the cost of the slates to get your real price of the slates, what it's going to cost you versus buying it elsewhere. That's really where I'm going, is do you understand those numbers? Yeah, I think all other questions were asked. Who does your accounts?
We've got a bookkeeper that is experienced in doing books.
I would suggest that you sit down with a bookkeeper and get them to explain your 62% net profit. Okay. But Mzi, that's all I've got time for right now. You may leave. Thank you.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts?
Wow, Mzingisi, I just asked the question I was asking to, I don't know, maybe highlight to him that, what he's telling us and what we received are not making sense. And I guess the more I asked, the more he probably also realized it and probably still couldn't articulate it in a way that we are able to understand and get convinced enough about what those numbers are supposed to tell us. But I mean, I still think, though, it's an interesting business that he has. But there's a few things that he needs to just get right, and I think that accountant is probably the first thing that he needs to look into, because I mean, if you've got someone good, they should be able to also just bring you into the right picture of what's going on with your business. If you can't do that yourself.
100%. That's a great point.
And I think that's one of the things that entrepreneurs actually avoid, is because I don't understand how the calculations are coming about, I just ignore it, and then I'm able to rattle off, certain numbers. And I'm so glad you brought up the whole cost of sales thing, because that's what I was trying to get to also around the storage, is that you're not going to go to 62% if your storage is going to increase. The other thing was that it's clear that the bookkeeper that he's currently using, I mean, the profit sharing model is something that I've always raised with him, and it's not even declared.
Well, I think that was the 650 that he talks about, the 650 times 50. That's the profit share.
He said, I think it came after when he said it varies. The 30,000 varies. It's varying because of the profit share. That's
the way
a
that I
major
read
thing.
it is that he's got these 50 out there, he's renting them out, and he's doing 50-50 or 60-40 on a profit share depending on volume. And so he can't tell you what the number is because he doesn't know how many coins are going to go into the machines. That's why he can't be specific.
But Alon, if he's been doing this, let's say even if it was for the last few months, he could have reflected on what he's seen in this time. And I think for me, that's where I was like getting lost to say, well, is it something that you still need to experience? I mean, you've been doing this already. So at least he should have been a little bit more clearer.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I think there was a loss in translation, but All right, let's
But his
translate
pitch
that.
definitely has become stronger.
Definitely,
You know, he's
yeah.
a lot more
Yes.
confident
Yeah.
in his pitch. Yeah.
Let's translate that into scoring.
Okay, Mzi. Sounds like a bit of a nervous laugh there. How do you feel?
I don't know, mixed emotions. I don't know how to feel, but let's hope the results come the way I expect them to come, which is positive. I feel positive.
Well, the judges were very, very tough on you when it comes to the numbers. Why do you think that's the case?
It's because I think we played in their territory, and so they knew the numbers and they worked on the numbers. And when you're on the stage, you get to forget some of the important facts that you said you were going to say. So I was caught off guard with some of the questions.
Would you agree that the numbers let you down there?
I feel I did not do justice because I did, but at the same time, I did not know what to pitch because I thought in my mind I had to pitch what I've given to them. So I was going to defend what I've given to them. Yes, so that's where I think we got it wrong.
All right, Mzi, wish you all the best.
Thank you, man.
Our last two semi-finalists will have their work cut out for them, but I'm afraid you'll have to wait until next week to see how they stack up. What you won't have to wait for is tonight's viewer competition. Thanks to Nedbank, we are giving away another one of those fabulous 5,000 Rand Evo Super Shop vouchers. Want a chance to win it? All you need to do is answer the question we are showing on your screen now. What was Sipogazi most impressed with Tshireletso and his pitch? What was Sipogazi most impressed with Tshireletso and his pitch? Send us your name and the answer via WhatsApp to 068-707-5187 before midnight to go into a random draw. If you are a winner, we'll be in touch with you before 5 p.m. tomorrow and give you a social media shout out later this week. And that, my pitch and polish friends, brings us to the end of tonight's episode. You definitely want to join me next Tuesday at 7 p.m. to see our last two semi-final pitches and find out which two contestants make it through to the final. It's going to be a nail-biter. Until then, it's good night from me, Aldrin St. Pierre. I'll catch you on the pitch side.